Hello, and welcome to your general weekly tarot card reading for the week of November 26th, 2018. This week I'll be using the Everyday Witch Tarot cards by Deborah Blake and intuiting any additional messages that comes in from our guides and from the universe so that we have the absolute best understanding on what is to come in the upcoming week. So, I hope that you are doing well. I hope that the last couple weeks for you have been full of insights and knowledge and wonderful surprises that have just helped you grow exponentially or helped you to have a lot of insight for your own inner world and what's going on with you and how you're growing, and perhaps maybe all of the messages that you've been discovering and learning over the past year have all been kind of starting to come to full picture. You know, when things happen, we don't always know why things are happening until much later. So hindsight is always 2020. So maybe you're starting to feel that a little bit. If you're still feeling like you're floating in the chaos that is the lessons that you are learning, just continue to take as much from all of these experiences as what you can, and then allow yourself to kind of float towards the end of the year, and hopefully you get a more full picture as the year comes to an end. So we are in the last almost month of the year, which means that again we will have a lot of lessons starting to ramp up and come back to us again. So we're right in the middle of that. So if you can just observe yourself over the next few weeks as you head right into 2019. I can't believe it's 2019 almost already. That's insane. But if you can really start to reflect on all that you are learning and all of those experiences that are happening to you, you will notice that you've learned a lot of those lessons already this year, that you're just having the opportunity to take a little bit more information from these kinds of situations one more time. They're bringing them back around, and because it is the last 6 weeks before 2019 starts. So when we are winding down to a cycle, we tend to speed up the lessons, and we've talked about this a little bit before. But if you haven't heard this already, 6 weeks before we have any sort of new year, that can be a birthday or a calendar new year, or we had a Celtic New Year a little while ago for November 1st. So when we have these new years happening, we have this really intense amount of lessons kind of compacted into the last 6 weeks. And that's just basically to help us grow even more as we continue on, so that we can take what we need to from this particular energy cycle that we're ending, so that we can bring into our lives the new blessings and the new lessons that are waiting for us in the new energy cycle, which in this case is 2019. So really pay attention to the things that are popping up for you. If you found that you've had some weird things repeating that you thought you had dealt with in the beginning of this year, it's okay. It's just another little tiny bit of karma maybe that is unresolved, or they're just making sure, the universe is just making sure that you have continued to learn your lesson and that there's nothing else in that situation for you to learn or maybe to change or anything like that. So the long and short of it is, just have fun and have a good sense of humor as we wind down 2018 and prepare yourself for 2019. You know, start to let go of those things that held you back this year, or the things that you're ready to let go of, or the things that you really don't want to bring into 2019. This is a beautiful time to begin to look at those types of behaviors or relationships or patterns that perhaps don't serve you any longer, and you're just willing to kind of let them go as we progress into this new energy cycle. So it's very exciting. I've heard from a few people. I haven't personally looked into the energy yet of 2019. However, I will be doing a yearly tarot card reading for us in the next couple weeks here. But what I've heard so far about 2019 is that it's supposed to be a good year. This year was a really intense year. It's a really hard year. But next year is supposed to be better, and it's almost supposed to be easier. So if you're starting to feel like things are starting to shift and move, that might be just how 2019 is going to be for you, which is very exciting because you've been kind of stuck and stagnant for a couple years now. So it'll be good to kind of get that momentum and start to move forward. So stay tuned for the annual tarot card reading. So far, I'm feeling a bit of, it almost feels like nervousness or panic a little bit. So that's just stuff clearing. You might have some old grief or old stress, whatever, leaving you this week, or you might just be feeling that a little bit in the upcoming week. Of course, that is there to tell you something. Perhaps if that comes up in a relationship or in a job or in any sort of situation, or if you're buying something and that feeling comes up, it's time for you to talk to those kinds of feelings because they're trying to tell you something. Generally, if something feels bad, it is bad. And if it feels good, then it is good. So we really just need to hone in on our emotions and listen to our intuition and what it's trying to tell us. Some of you might make some big decisions this week. If you are making really hard, big decisions, my heart goes out to you. I'm sending you so much love and so much courage, and congratulations. Even if something feels a little bit scary, but you know that it feels right in your gut, it's still the right thing to do. So sometimes you just have to kind of bite the bullet and just pull the trigger, all of those metaphors. Just do what you got to do to move forward, because some things, if they're not feeling right for you anymore, then take this as a sign that it's time for you to let those things go so that you can move forward, not only in your life, but definitely so you can embrace the new energy that wants to come in and assist you in 2019. Whew. Yeah. That'll be a big one. But the relief that I have just felt now after addressing that feels amazing. So no, if you do have to make any sort of difficult decisions this week, or if you have to, end something that's kind of going to be really hard to do, you're going to feel so much better after you do it. Even though it might be hard, you will feel relieved, and as long as you're following your gut and your intuition, those nights that you're looking back wondering why you made this decision, or if you have any self-doubt from your mind or from your ego later, you can always come back to that feeling in your intuition that said this was the right thing to do. And I don't know why this was the right thing to do, but I just have to trust that it was, and that will keep you warm in those nights where you are wondering what the hell you just did. If you made any sort of big decisions, they sometimes tend to be so scary that we can't let them go once we've made the decision. And we like to think about them, and our ego likes to get going and starts to overanalyze things, and you move into fear. But you can move yourself out of fear by going back and trusting that you trusted your own body in that situation and what your body was trying to tell you. Yeah, really remember that your intuition is there for you to use. It is what's, your intuition is your instincts. It's your survival. It's your, emotional compass. So it's there to guide you and to help you. So really lean on it and really use it. And the more that you use it, the louder it will become, and you will not be able to ignore it, which is very cool, because in each situation, it'll get stronger and stronger and stronger. And if you want to work on that relationship with your intuition, it might take a while to get going because you've been ignoring it for so long. So if that happens, just try to connect to your intuition in small ways. So what should I eat for lunch today? What would be in my highest and greatest good to eat for lunch today? And just trusting whatever is coming from your body as opposed to what's coming from your cravings. And if you're able to overcome those cravings and trust your intuition, your own internal guidance system over all of those cravings, then that will strengthen your intuition, because that shows your intuition that, oh, hey, she's willing to put aside her human mind and trust what her body is telling her to do. So interesting energy this week. So we have the moon, which is our theme of this week. So the moon is typically what's referred to as deception. So something is not really what it looks like. And so deception doesn't have to be such a negative thing. It could just mean that you're not seeing your own self in your true power. In this image, we are shown here this cute little kitty seeing herself as a wonderful big cat, and a powerful big cat, and a protector. So if you believe solely in your heart that you are one way, but you're seeing yourself as another, you need to go again and trust the inside guidance and trust that part of you over the physical and over what other people think you look like or what think you are like, and trust who you are on the inside. that is what's going to help you move forward, and that's what's going to help you to overcome all of this human stuff that we like to throw in our way, and help us grow and to become the people that we really truly are meant to become. So trusting that this is also that some feelings you could be misinterpreting, and that's just in the mind. So the mind sometimes tricks us into thinking things that are not really true. For the overanalyzers out there, this is especially true. So your mind sometimes likes to play these tricks on you and tell you these stories that are not serving, they're not loving, they're just these stories that you make up in your own head to prepare yourself for the worst so that you're not disappointed in the end. But that is not truth, and you need to come back to how you're actually feeling, and don't lie to yourself, because lying to yourself is the worst thing of all. So as long as you're being honest with yourself, even if you're not willing to act on your emotions yet, or you're not really willing to tell anybody about them, that's okay. You just need to be honest with yourself about how you're feeling, and those other pieces that will help you either make those decisions or come to that contentment and that peace with how you're really feeling, those will come. But the first step is acknowledging it and being honest with yourself. Okay, so the 10 of Swords. So as you can see, she's literally got stabbed in the back, and her stabber is running away from her. But her trusty protector and friend that we've seen from the previous card, this cute little kitty, believes that she is this big black cat. And so she is brave, and she's scared away this guy, and she's protecting her friend. So this is, sorry, my nose is running. This is a card of the worst. The worst has happened. You got knocked down. You've been betrayed. And that could just be in any way. That could be that somebody has betrayed you. That could be that you've betrayed yourself by not listening to how you're feeling. Or this could just be how you're feeling. Maybe nothing really happened to you, but this is all of these emotions that are just making you feel stuck to the ground and unable to move. But look, she's still alive, and she's still fighting, and she's still going to grab that broom and fly away and fly out of there. So this is a card to say you may be feeling so down in the dumps and just unable to move and just totally alone. But no, you do have resources available to you, and you do have people and support there actually that are here to help you. And the best part of feeling rock bottom is that there's nowhere to go but up. And that is just a lovely reminder that take what you can from the struggle and be willing to move up and move forward from it. I'm getting from most of us that this is not really about betrayal, that this is more about this. These are the daggers that we're kind of putting into our own mind. So the swords resembles the mental world, which we talked about a little bit before. So the mental world kind of likes to keep us down, and it is very serving, and it's wonderful for so many things, but for our own overall well-being, sometimes it can be our own worst enemy. So when we begin to feel that these stories are like daggers and they're keeping us stuck, it's really important that we take ourselves out of that by reaching for our tools. And our tools are meditation, it's distracting ourselves, it's just standing up in your own mind and deciding that no longer are you willing to accept these kinds of stories to go round and round in your head, that you're going to stop it, and that you're only going to look at how you're actually feeling and go off of that. Because your mind can be your friend, but it can also be your worst enemy sometimes. And so if you realize that, you can thank your mind for trying to protect you, but ask it to gently stop feeding you all of these scenarios, because we do suffer more in our own imagination than we do in real life. I think it's 75% that we suffer. The 75% of the suffering that we do in our own head never actually happens in real life. So think about that. You spend 75% of your time thinking about things that actually don't happen. So the next time you're going around and around and around in your head, just remind yourself of that. Like, what is the likelihood that this is actually going to happen? And even if it is going to happen, how does this making myself feel like crap by turning this over and over and over again in my head, how does this actually improve the situation? Wouldn't it be better if I was able to let this go and move myself into a more loving, more happy state so that I can approach this kind of problem at a different angle? Why do I think that I can't be happy because of this situation that's going around in my head? Why is that situation keeping me grounded in the worst way and keeping me stuck and making me feel like I have all these knives in my back? Okay, we have the Queen of Swords. So this is actually lovely. This ties into what we were saying so beautifully. The Queen of Swords is very brilliant and she's very confident and she's a queen. So she has learned to master the mind. Be a master in your own mind this week. And you do that a little bit by what we were talking about before. Understanding that you are in control of the thoughts that you're thinking and that you just need to choose another thought. So if you need to do a little bit more research on how to do that or look up some more tools, this is what you need to do. You need to really, really take this seriously because it all begins in your mind. The way that you are feeling, if you're ignoring how you're feeling and you're making things into reality in your own mind, you could be manifesting those into your life. And so it's so important that we decide to use this power of manifestation for good, and that we use our mind by thinking good thoughts and by creating these positive feelings in our bodies so that we can manifest these amazing things into our life. Because we can manifest things like that are bad because we have so much energy and emotion behind it, because it's fear and it's sadness or it's anger. Those are very powerful emotions. So if you can change your thoughts by thinking more positively, or by practicing more loving self-talk, then you're able to manifest things that are more aligned with those emotions, because those are very powerful emotions as well. But our human mind doesn't always love to live in that space because that's not our primal mind. And we have not evolved past this primal mind, so we have to use these tools in order to help us move along in that evolution. So you do have the tools available to you. You have the internet. There's so much information out there on how to take control of how you're feeling. And I really think that this is the best week to start doing this, because be a queen in your own mind and do not allow these bad thoughts and these stories to take control of you and to move you. And every time you find yourself in a bad way or you're thinking bad things, I want you to stop yourself. And it's going to take some practice, but if you stop yourself and you start talking to them and you lovingly let them go, then eventually they will slow down quite a bit, and you'll be able to really, really notice when you're starting to think negative, because it will eventually become so weird that you'll be like, wow, that doesn't fit at all with how I'm feeling. So this week, it all starts in the mind. So again, this deception that we talked about at the beginning, the theme of the week, you are feeling like there is deception happening in your life. That could, because in your mind you're making it out to be something that it's actually not, and that could just be simply as it is. You may think that somebody is out to get you, or that you are actually not capable of doing something when in reality you totally are. That's your mind telling you that you can't. So flip the script. Wow, another sword. This is a really mentally heavy week this week. So really take control of your mind, because your mind will control you. And I love that. I don't know if Tony Robbins was the first one to say it, but who's coming to mind is stand guard at the entrance of your own mind, which is such a powerful thought. If you think about, like, you can picture in your head that your brain, there's a door to your brain and there's a big bouncer standing outside. You can put your face on it and it can just be a big bouncer that says, no, negative thoughts are not allowed to come in here. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, positive thoughts. Yeah, VIP, here you go. You can come right in. So however you need to imagine that or take control of that, but really stand guard in your own mind, because your thoughts are so powerful and they are what's keeping you in this. We don't want this. This doesn't feel good. So this weekend we have the Four of Swords. So again, another mentally focused card. Rest. This weekend, rest. Take a break from overthinking and overdoing and just take a rest. Sometimes we're trying to solve problems so much, and we're trying to change, and we're trying to evolve, and trying to grow and be superwoman. And especially with the holidays coming up, we have so many things that we have to do. But rest this weekend is so important. Make sure that you are resting and that you are recuperating, because we can't solve our problems when we're in a place of exhaustion. And when we're feeling exhausted, this is also a really toxic place to be in, because that's where our negative thoughts like to come from, is when we're tired. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you are feeling nice and cared for, and the best way to do that is to rest. So this weekend, lay down a lot, maybe watch some movies, read some books, have lots of naps. Perhaps this weekend is a great weekend to not do anything. Maybe cancel those plans that you're not really that excited about anyway. And really, what they're saying is really take a rest on that self-deprecating talk. So just let it go, give it a rest. And those things that you're trying to manifest and perhaps charge through and want to manifest into your life, just let them go. And you can come back to them when you're feeling more rested. But when we're tired, we can't really make really good things happen anyways, because we are not in our highest frequency. We're not vibrating very high. If we're tired, we're cranky. Just nurture yourself in whatever way. And I cannot stress that enough. That has been so prevalent this last couple of weeks. And I don't know how many of you are actually resting. Because if you're not resting, this is what happens, is we start to feel totally run down. Rest. There's beauty in rest. And there is so much healing that happens here. This is when we receive all of the healing that we've asked for. And, if you are struggling with anything, it's so good sometimes just to go and have a sleep and wake up with fresh eyes. I know I do that so much that I'll just leave something and I'll come back to it when I'm fresh in the morning. So rest, rest, rest. Is there anything else you'd like us to know? I think we've covered a lot today. Of course, I am happy to coach you through whatever I can. I'm happy to share any tools that I find so powerful and so meaningful for helping you to take control of your own thoughts. But this is such a thought and mentally focused week that it's such a powerful week for you to really start to look at those thoughts. And even if you don't do anything about it yet, start to dissect these thoughts that you're having. Like if you think that you can't do something, really start to question, well, why? What is it that makes me think that way? And where did this thought come from? And what does this mean if this was actually true? And why am I attached to that? And just be curious about your own thoughts and your own belief systems, because sometimes you'll find that they actually make zero sense at all, but they're these huge chains that are keeping you to something that is just not you at all. So be curious and be loving and be your own best friend, and picture yourself as your own 3-year-old self. And every time you're saying mean things about yourself, that you're saying that to your 3-year-old self. And that might help you to change things, because that's essentially what you're doing, is you are hurting your own inner child and your own self in such huge ways. But we just forget about our own selves in a lot of the situations that we're in, and we talk the worst about ourselves than we do about anyone else. And that is so twisted and backwards. So use things that are powerful to you. Use visualizations, write things on your mirror, listen to positive things, even have an accountability partner. Have someone who maybe you can talk to who's also going to try to be more positive in their thoughts, and so that they can call you on things in loving ways to say, that's not a very nice thing that you're thinking about yourself. Maybe you want to rephrase that, and to hold you accountable so that perhaps you can start to change that own inner dialogue. You can start to change those thoughts that you're having so that you can begin to manifest and to actually accomplish the things that you know that you're capable of doing, but your mind is trying to tell you that you can't. So I hope that you have a fantastic week ahead. Like I said, I am here to help you with anything that you need. Please feel free to email me at thejourneytospirit@gmail.com. And come by and visit me at katiehunt.ca if you haven't already, to subscribe for your chance to win a free Reiki session, and to also receive all of the special insights and offers that I only offer through my email list. So it's a really great place to be at. Thank you so much for being here. I so do appreciate it each and every week. I so appreciate it. You have no idea. Please like and share and comment, and please, please, please let me know how your November is shaping up for you, and maybe let me know some of the bad thoughts that you let kind of take over your life and take over your mind and trick you into thinking that you're not absolutely amazing. And if you ever forget how amazing you are, just remember that you absolutely are. You were given a heart that beats on its own. You are taking breaths. There is this consciousness within your body that just breathes without you even trying or asking for it, and your heart beats on its own and your food digests on its own. You are a magnificent being, and there's nothing to say that you cannot be your even more loving self on this planet. And I am here to remind you of that each and every week, because we are surrounded by negativity and our human brains limit us, but know that you are so incredible. And that is the truth, my friend. I'm sending you so much love. Have an amazing week.